Okay, so we are in the final stages of the sculpture, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this one done because we really are pretty accurate as far as. Let me put this camera on the stand. God, man, that's so stiff. Yoo-hoo, what's happening, man? So, hold on, let me see who that was. Thor, J Thor, man, what's happening, buddy? I could barely see that. That text is so small on this camera. I'm looking at it on my. I'm gonna be the tablet that's right in front of you. I've got to get that launched. Um, just trying to balance out the picture here. This is the final touches of the one-to-one, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing to the sculpture. Once I get this camera, once I get this up and running here, hold on. You know what? Let's do this. Get this light out of the way. Is there a way to pivot that? Yeah, there is. Okay. I don't want to block the view of the mask. Plus, we got to keep the light on it. All right. So I need to get this tablet up and running here so I can see your comments. All right. Got some surprises. Come on. It has been working faster, thank God. Um, there we go. Yo, it's Thorburn. Yeah, man. I'm here. Thorburn, for some reason, it's showing my account tag. Kind of weird. Internet's been really nuts, man. I don't know what to tell anybody at this point that have been dealing with the internet crap. All right, so we have the logo put on the back of the head. These are the final touches. I still gotta. I'm working on the side of this face a little bit. It was bulged right here too much, and it was because of the way I was working under the eye cut. But now I've got it back to where it was. Okay, so you ready? You want to see this reveal to the back of the head logo? Now I have it up on block of wood because I was working on this. Now I'm still smoothing out a little bit up here, not much. I just have to. The only thing I have to do to this now is put the naphtha on it and rinse it out. But I worked on this all morning. I was going to go live with it, but I'm like, I don't show how I do this. This here I do freehanded. As you can see, I sculpt that right in there. I freehand the custom corpses, but I put a line across here and across here, you know, to keep me in the midst of the same, you know, the same. And I make sure that my dividing line from the M to the C is right down the middle of that. And I try not to go too deep, and then I texture the inside of the letters. But it's the 1-to-1 FB78 custom corpses. Yeah, leave it in caps. I can see it better. It doesn't really matter because I have this thing right in front of me now. I can see this fine. It's when it's across the road there where I can't see this. You can leave the caps off or leave them on. But this is the 1-for-1. Oh yeah, man. There'll be a row of hair right here. And then a row of hair right above that. Be a row of hair right in here. And a row of hair right across this. Right between the two. I should have brought this up just a little bit higher. But I don't care. The latex will stick. It doesn't matter. You gotta remember, all this gets buried underneath the hair. I'm not even sure why I do it. I mean, what is really the purpose of, I guess, you know, if somebody wanted to rehair the mask, they'll pull the hair off and then see the logo and be able to see that, you know, what company it was. What company? It's better to put your company logo right in on the. Now I still got a little bit of touching up to do, but not too much. I'm kind of really at the finish line with this. I got the hairline in. Can you guys see that hairline? Can you see the hairline? Hairline's nice and high up here, but it has that dip right in here now. It looks more natural because the forehead is out further. It looks better. If you can see that. Yeah, I think this is going to be really, really, really an accurate sculpture. Hold on, let me pull this up a little forward. Right now, it's just a matter of texturing. I got to texture the head. I texture this. I also want to texture the face a little bit. I don't want the face to be too smooth. I still have to put the lines in the forehead. I have the lower line kind of etched in a little bit right here, but I still got to put the upper line. Yep. And the scowl, I want it naturally bumpy. I don't want it to be too flat, like it's been like literally smooth to the point where it doesn't look natural like our face does. That's the one thing you can make the mistake on, is when you're making your sculpture, you want those imperfections that are in skin. Yeah, you definitely want the imperfections. I think we have a really, really, really nice flashback now. I do. Now I want to. I melted some clay, and there's some shit going on here. I really want this to be accurate. This is the last straw with this. I don't want to keep doing this. This is of course, a little piece of stone in there. Is it out of there? Let me look at my pictures because I need to see those lines under the right lighting. And the positions of those lines. Remember, you made the Ultra with more pronounced definition, prevent detail loss. Yeah, and that's exactly it. I don't want to lose the detail. Here we go. This upper line, now this all gets kind of, washed down a little bit, so it'll look a lot more natural. On that, right, and that's about right where it has to be, right here. There's a line that goes right above it. Hold on. I'm looking at this picture right here. There's a line that's right there, but it looks like the line's broken right here. And it just comes in a little bit. Like that, that's it. And there's two lines. But they're real subtle. They'll disappear once I start to wash this out. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, the other thing I want to do too is these lips are a little too fat right in here on both sides. Perfect thickness right here. But you see it's dented in and then goes around and drops down. So I'm going to bring them up a little bit. Especially this side. This side's real bad. Whoa, whoa, don't you disappear on me. Okay. That looks a lot better. But I need to ladybugs all over the place. Do you think you will lose any definition when you pull the mask out? In latex? No, I don't think so. No, but there's going to be more texture on this sculpture. Putting the little dents right underneath the lip line, because that's how it gives that definition on the lip. You don't want the lip, literally blending right into the. Oh man, that looks so much better. That looks so much. All right, I gotta do the same thing on this side. I'm only going directly underneath the lip, just putting a little bit of a dent there, just to make it so you can see it. You see what the shadowing, you can see what I did? Can you see that? Hold on. See that little dent underneath of there? You can see it as bright. It's bright white right in here. That's the under part of that lip. It's reflecting the light. You'd think that it would be a shadow, but because of the lighting in here, it's. And now, smooth it back out. I've been dying to do that, fix that lip. Because those lips were too fat. Oh wow, even the profile looks a lot better now. Let me see, do I have you? I need you to be. Yeah, the profile looks sick. different tool to get this Utimus. Come on. Clay's nice and hot. Love it. Yeah, this is really going to be, I mean, it's as close to the screen used as possible. I just don't see anybody making it, you know, we're splitting hairs now, you know, it's just so difficult to really get it perfect. To really replicate this as an exact copy is almost impossible. No, well, it is impossible. You know, you're not going to, it's like drawing a perfect circle. And right now, yeah, even when I look at the nag mask, none of us have it exactly like the screen used mask. As close as we think we are, every time you see your mask and you see that screen used, there's just something just a little bit different, just a little bit, and that means nag, that means me, it means anybody else out there. It's just, but then that's the nice thing about, you know, having, because then when you collect from different artists, you're getting a different version, a different flavor of the mask. Everybody's trying to make that perfect mask. I just don't think it's possible to make it absolutely dead on without 3D printing it and scanning it and printing it. I have no love for people that do that. That's just absolute theft. You're not buying art. You're buying somebody's copy, exact copy. I'm just trying to get it so it's so nice. Now what I'm doing there is, when I use that tool to push these lines in, it creates these little, like these little dents on the outside of the clay, and you got to scrape them away. Then when I do the wash, it opens those crevices back up, but very subtle. Yeah, man, this is looking good. Now the ears still have to be worked on. I got to get these ears more accurate. I want a little bit more roundness on this area here. And my fingers are really sore. All right, so see a dent there. I want that out of there. Working with literally crumbs of clay now. Just trying to get it right. Yeah, it's lazy, but I mean, it's not the purpose. When somebody's literally scanning something and then 3D modeling it and printing it, that's different when you 3D model. Like if you're not sculpting with your hands and you're sculpting with a pen, and as long as you're sculpting, I'm okay with that. If you do it through a 3D printer and you're modeling, you know how modeling works. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about the 3D printing. I know very little of it, but I watched my son actually model something in the software, and he had to sculpt it, in the software, and you have to get good at the software to really manipulate that software, and that's the key. But you still have to have an eye. If you're sculpting it's in the software, or it still represents you're using your art, and that's okay. I have no problem with somebody's 3D modeling in a software versus doing it with your hands. It doesn't matter. It's the eye, it's the concept. But if somebody scans something with a scanner and then copies it, I got an issue. I just don't. That's why I didn't do my LC, which means the life cast mask. I didn't do the LC mask because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It has to be sculpted. One way or the other. I have to sculpt that LC. And besides, it's too small. So with that being that small, the mask would come out really, really tiny. Probably like a 23-inch mask. And most people won't fit in that. But I'm a big fan of, you have to do the work. You have to invest the time. Yes, sir. Not a fan of stealing, copying something. I'm just about ready for naphtha, just to see where I'm at. I think I see something here that I don't like. And I round that out. And I go back in again, but I need a smaller hoop. Yes, here we go. All right, now see, now this is dirty as hell, but they've got these grips on this tool. These are more like a cutting loop. This one here with the grip. And then these ones here, they're not really cutting, they're just wired loops, and they're round. So it's more about manipulating the clay than it is cutting into the clay. Oh, I missed it. Hold on. Earl and Dave, what's happening, buddy? Great Skull, thank you. Are you first time here? Erie Land? I don't remember. Erie Land, 49 something. Why don't I recognize that name? Did you change your name, Erie Land? So, right now I'm manipulating this clay. There we go. That looks good. Yeah, you've been. I remember. I do remember you. Bagley, Erie Land, but I don't remember. I just. Did you change more some of your name on this? Just curious, because I remember Erie, but I don't remember Land Dave. Erie Land Dave. Man, there's so many people coming on with. They got all these crazy name tags, and it makes it hard to remember people. It does. It sucks. Because I like to remember everybody. You know, I don't want to. Oh, you first time here, and then you feel like, oh man, this guy's been watching for months. But sometimes people watch a lot of the videos and never catch the live. I keep getting accused that this is not that my sculpture is a nag mask. As you can see, this is actually the mask. The Ultra was a nag mask. Somebody had said that, and I was like, no, that's not a nag mask. I sculpted that mask, and you can catch me live on YouTube sculpting. And you can see this is the real deal, man. I use monster clay. I don't use Now, that's not a cutting tool. This is more of a shaping tool. And that's what I want when I'm doing this. I'm looking. I'll look at the back of the ears too, because I want them fairly nice. I don't want any wild divots in them or anything. You know, getting the head shape, I'll say, is probably the most important thing. Now, I'll show you what I did do to this. Hey, what's happening, DP24 and in the house? See, when this thing was leaning, when it was sitting on its, I leaned it forward and I realized the back of the head was standing up too high up back here. And I brought this down some. This part right in here, just in here. I brought this down some. I didn't bring anything off the back of this head. I brought some of this off, brought some of this off, and over on this side. And that now looks natural. You know, as a profile of somebody's head. It's like, you know, somebody's... See, when I sculpt, I normally sculpt with this thing down here like that. And see how nice and level the head looks now? The top of the head. I needed to bring that down anyway, because now I've got the lips perfectly balanced. Wow, man, they look good. They look good. I only watched before from my gaming account. Now I am from now mask making account. Okay. Here, Leon, I gotta go check you out. I mean, what kind of masks do you make? You do your own original stuff? Monster mask? That's what I really love. I can't wait to get into that. I want to start doing my own stuff. Hairdress trolls. Yeah, I know there's trolls, but I mean, yeah, it's kind of irritating because, you know, you kill yourself making this thing. You know, I mean, you see how many months and how long I've worked on this. DP24 is asking, is shouting out to everybody. Hey, everybody, what's happening? DP24 is in the house. My voice is a little stressed because I worked real late last night. It was a little slow. I had to do a lot of emceeing. No, I'll just be, hey, take off vision. Long time, yo, no see. Oh man, take off vision. How you doing, buddy? This is the new 1-to-1 FB78. There's the logo on the back of the head. Now I still haven't washed this. I still have This is just freshly sculpted in here. This is what I decided to call this. The Ultra wasn't quite there yet, but this is definitely a lot closer. 1-to-1, definitely very close to the. I bumped out the. There's so much that I've done to the sculpture. I brought out the forehead further. All right. God, guys, remind me. What have I done? Holy shit, I've done so much. I brought the chin back and the lips back. They're further back. Now these look much more accurate. The nose. I shortened the nose, and I made the nose very accurate. As you can see, the flare-outs when you're looking at the nose straight on. The lips are perfect, man. They are really on the money. Yes. Well, I mean, there's a learning curve. Like I said, I'm not an expert at this, and I'm good with art. Don't get me wrong. I'm really good with certain things, but it's just like I had to learn human anatomy. I didn't have that under my belt. That would have helped me tremendously if I had known more of that earlier on. Hey John, I wanted to ask you a question also. I typed slow, so bear with me. Okay. Wanted to know if you're still adding more Halloween masks to your collection. I don't actually collect masks. I mean, if I'm going to make more masks, yes, I am. I plan on making more masks. I'll show you a little project I'm working on right now. All right, so I got two things I started. I'm going to do scarecrow mask. I love scarecrow masks, but I always I want the jaw to move. I want the jaw to be able to move with the scarecrow masks, just to give it that extra element. Let me show you guys. All right. I have two of the same mask. I bought these cheap masks online. I bought these cheap masks. I don't know, you guys might have caught me doing this before, so hold on a second. Let me get my seat back where it belongs. Don't get old, man. It sucks. Okay. This mask is a cheap skull mask made of plastic. The jaw opens and closes. Now, I used epoxy sculpt on here, all right, to shape this out. I don't like this particular brand of epoxy sculpt. It was a cheaper brand. I just didn't like it. But the bigger problem with using epoxy sculpt is it's too heavy. This thing will weigh a ton on your face. Hold on. I wanted to over a Halloween Kills mask for you. Overhaul. Yes, DP, you want to overhaul a mask? Let me see your. I got to go to your channel and check out. Have you done any overhauls lately? DP24 Halloween Kills mask for you. Yes, I want to check out your Halloween Kills mask. Yeah, man. So I actually I actually have a Halloween Kills, but I painted it with that fire red from Nick Mulpagano. But anyway, let me get to this first. Let me talk about this. This stuff is way too heavy. It weighs a ton, the epoxy sculpt, and it just makes the mask really heavy. So I'm going to finish that mask, and I still have to. What I have is I'm going to use one of my latex masks. One of my foam-filled latex masks, and I'm going to put that on there, all right, and then I'm going to create a head piece that goes over and attaches to this. So it'll be like a sock that this will be attached to, and from there, then I put I glue down the burlap on top of this, and over top of it, and really push the burlap into all the little crevices and the lines. You see all this here? There's like flesh, eating away flesh. This is somewhat of a zombie scarecrow. That's what it's going to be. So, all right, this stuff's too heavy. So I got some foam clay. All right, and this is foam, real light. It's foam clay. I'm bulking out the eye cut right now. I have to sand down the rest of this because the foam does want to peel up on the plastic unless you sand it. So I'm making a heavy scowl right now. I only tested this. I didn't sand this over on this side just to see, and did it on purpose, if the foam clay would come free from it. Well, it's not really coming free because it's pulled up underneath it here, so it's not really going to come free from there. But once I sand this down real good, I can make a foam clay sculpture, be nice and light on your face, and I'll be able to put all the details into it. Now, the one thing about foam clay is once you put it on, it'll smooth itself out because it expands a little bit. It expands a little bit, and as it expands, it knocks out any kind of details that you put into the sculpture. So what you have to do is let this expand fully, let it cure completely, and then you can sand in or Dremel in your details into the foam. And that'll give me all the details I want into the gums, over the teeth, you know, all that stuff. Anyway, yeah. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm using foam clay for the masks because it's so light. It's weighs a feather. The mask, you could pile this foam all over this and you still would not have enough foam to feel any difference in weight. But that's going to be I'm doing scarecrow mask with these cheap, but they're cool because, you know, you put them on. There's a foam pad that's usually in the chin here, and you know you can move your. Hold on, let me see. Is that foam pad still in there? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'll put this sucker on and show you what I'm talking about. Make sure there's no. Yeah, baby. Damn, hair got in my mouth. Yuck. Not my hair. My hair's too short. Okay, let me read what you're saying, DP. Erie cool start for a burlap mask. Yes. Well, I mean, you know, you got to get creative. You got to do, you know, you got to think outside the box when you're making like masks. You know, it just adds to the element of like, oh shit, how did he make that? You know, that'd be really cool. You know, am I going to reveal how I'm going to make that? Not really. I think I'm going to make one, see how long and how hard the process is, and hopefully it's not a very long process. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I thought Halloween 2 intro, the skull inside the pumpkin. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about doing a pumpkin. I make a pumpkin right now that's the original Halloween pumpkin from Halloween 1. And it's really good. I've already had quite a few people buy it. I'm still working on making a pumpkin that opens up. I want it to open up, split open, and then reveal that mask inside the skull inside. And I want it on a sound, not a sensor. I want it on a sensor. Whenever somebody walks close to it, the light will come on the inside of it'll start flickering on the inside, and then it'll slowly open up, real slow, real slow. I don't want it popping open like goofy. I want it to open real slow to reveal the mask. The secret, well, the trick, the hard part is, if you watch that sequence of that pumpkin opening up, I'm trying to figure out what kind of fabric they used. It almost resembled spider webbing, because it stayed stuck to the face a little bit. It stayed stuck to the inside of the pumpkin, but it almost looks like I watched this thing over and over again in 4K, and it almost looks like, what the hell is stuck to my hand? All right. It almost looks like it's stuck to it, but not really stuck hard. It's just, it peels away from the rubber mask. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more different stuff. I plan on doing a lot more Halloween masks, but more original stuff. I want to do original sculptures, original scary stuff. Um, Scarecrows are one of my favorite things. I really love scarecrows. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm going to make. I made this one out of spray foam. It was really good. I was doing that before actually most people were doing it. I was using Loctite spray foam, and I learned that method from Stiltby Studios, and he was the first one I ever saw use that to make a mask. And I went ahead and I started using that concept, and I made these pumpkin head scarecrows. Now, I've got to practice a lot more with spray foam, because it does take a lot of practice to manipulate that spray foam at different stages. As it starts to cure, you have to manipulate that foam to get it to get a really good sculpture out of spray foam, and it takes practice. But I do have the pumpkin head scarecrow that I'll show you guys. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I put real straw on there like an idiot. I couldn't get access to any raffia. You know what raffia is? That's the same stuff that hula hoop skirts are made out of. So I put straw on this thing, which all came off. It all came off. But this is a pumpkin head scarecrow that I made. And you can see the pumpkin color underneath. And this is all spray foam. This is one of the first projects I did with spray foam. You can see all the straw came off. It was all hanging down on the neck. But you know what inspired this head form and shape? All right, now I'm going to take you back to the 70s. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie, damn it. There were little creatures that lived in a fireplace. Hold on. I don't want to hit my sculpture. There were these little creatures that lived in a fire. Oh, it's called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Look that up in the 70s. Kim Darby was the star of that movie. I think that was her name anyway. But that's why I made this creature look like that, because it was really scary. Man, it was really scary as a kid. It was one of the scariest, darkest movies I've ever saw for a TV show. It was for a TV movie. And, yeah, Pumpkinhead Scarecrow. And I made a whole slew of them guys. I made, and a lot of them they kept them. The guy that did the haunt, he kept them. I made one for myself just to keep. Yeah, oh yeah, I can do this Pumpkinhead Scarecrows. They're cool, and they're scary. I'm going to tell you something, man. There's one thing I've learned, that original stuff is more scary, and I found that the more, like, anytime you do a screen used mask, like you do a horror mask, now we all love Michael Myers. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade that. I wouldn't trade doing him either in for nothing. But doing original stuff, man, you just don't know what you're going to end up with. And it's so exciting when you come up with something that just really is scary as hell. And when I did these Pumpkinhead Scarecrows, I did them in a way, now mine's different than all the other ones that I did. But I thought about a movie called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, and then I changed the expressions on all the faces. All right, every face had a different expression on these Pumpkinhead Scarecrows, the one I just showed you, and they were all horrifying, not mean, not but they were really scary looking, you know. And I did a bunch of these masks. I think I did like 15 of them, because they were going to go in. These Pumpkinhead Scarecrows were all inside of a barn, and they called them the Barn Dwellers. That's what they called them. And I made them up. They were saying, well, how are we going to get a bunch of masks? They're all the same, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? And I had just watched Alan Hops on Stilt Bee Studios on how to make the foam mask. And it was probably weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks prior to doing that mask. He had just did his first mask with that spray foam, and me and him were breaking ground with trying to how to learn how to sculpt with that thing. But see, he practiced a lot more, and man, he's doing all kinds of stuff with that stuff now. That's what I got to do. I got to practice with it. And I do want to make spray foam masks. And as a matter of fact, it's going to be part of that mask. The new masks are going to be on there as well. Anyone seen this Clown House? That movie deserves a sequel. I don't think I have. Yeah, you can make them cheap. Erie Land, Dave, you said something about you can cut them up and mad cheap. Well, I really don't want to make them super cheap. I'm not, because I don't want to get to the point where I can't. You gotta understand something. I'm one man. I'm by myself. I'm old. That doesn't help. All right. So what happens is, if you make something that's really popular, all right, and this mask is liable to be really The movie came out in 1989. I'll have to check it out. Maybe that's something I'll watch tonight. I'm not a real big clown. I'm not a big clown fan though. I know there's a lot of people out there that love clowns, love scary clowns. And my wife is scared to death of scary clowns. And I was also going to make a scary clown, but unlike anything you've probably seen, I definitely want something that's unique and scary as shit. I don't want it to be like every other. I don't want it to be a movie clown. I don't want it to be something that's already been done. You can use T-mail wraps. They are cheap. I don't know what you mean by what's T-mail? To-mail wraps. I don't even know what that is. Did you misspell that? Explain what to-mail is. Did you mean thumbnail? Mexican food. Really? Never thought about putting food on a sculpture. There is, all right, I want to show you guys something. On the screen here, at the very bottom, every time somebody posts something, they put a message up, there's a damn heart blocking it. So if you have a question, there is a wrap you can use to cover scarecrow masks. Okay. The next, the Erie, the next post that you just put up, I can always read part of it. So anytime you guys put a message up, follow it up with yo, so I can read that top message, because there's a damn heart right in the way. Why they did that, I don't know. There's a heart blocking the whole message. No, I never heard of Tamail. Am I pronouncing it right? Tamail? I honestly don't. I really don't like Mexican food. I like Italian food. I like Chinese food. I like Japanese food. I'm a big seafood fanatic. I love seafood. That's my favorite thing in the world. Um, but I don't like Mexican food, and it's because I can't stand a lot of the herbs. The one that really gets to me the most, what am I thinking of? What's the name of that herb? What's the name of that herb that's always in most Mexican dishes? And I'm not a bean fan. I don't like beans. I don't like beans at all. Did you say tamale? Is that what that is? Tamale? Tamale skins? Well, that's leathery. Do you have to dry them out? I mean, I can't imagine putting food on your face. Okay, I never saw it spelled before. That's because I never had to spell tamale. That's funny. It's a corn. What? Go ahead, keep going. Erie. Put yo up there so I can read the whole. No, it's not food. Okay, it's not food. It's a corn husk. Ooh, tomato. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Can you order it? Is it? I guess is it called tamale husk? Is that what it's called? Tamale husk? Oh my God. Huh. Wrap over the food. Tamale husk. Is it expensive? I mean, because that's what you're, if you, damn, that would be cool. Yeah, that's called raffia. The stuff that they put on hula skirts, that's called raffia. RAFIA. Yeah, I think it sounds RA. It might be RAFF, but I think it's RAFIA. It's raffia. It might be E. I don't know. I can't remember how it's spelled. Yeah, I'll have to try. I'm gonna have to look into that, man. That'd be pretty cool. I'm gonna try that. Tamale. You know what? Let me write it down. Let me rock that down. Tamale husk. And it's spelled Tamale, right? It's just pronounced tamale. Yeah, baby. Let me write it down. Because if I don't, I won't be able to find it on this. Hold on. Let's read that again. I want to get the right spelling for sure. Tamale. ALA husk. Tamale husks. We're going to look that up tonight. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I just have to put naphtha on this to smooth it out. But I don't want to, I'm just not in the mood to put the naphtha on there now, man, because it burns out my fucking nose every time I do it. Excuse my language. But, it burns out my nose. So, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Walmart carries it? Tamale husk? Natural dried corn husk. I'll have to look into it. I'm getting hungry, but I have to, yeah, definitely have to, oh man, that's a really nice definition on those lips, yes. You can really see that lower lip nicely now. I have to smooth this out, but I'm not going to do that until later on tonight. Naphtha. Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good. I'll tell you what. There is nothing that smooths out the clay better than this type of clay, monster clay. It's basically a wax-based clay. Nothing works as good as naphtha. I tried alcohol; it doesn't do the job. Doesn't do it. I've tried everything. Naphtha's the only thing that. Naphtha's nothing but lighter fluid. Naphtha is what that is. It's lighter fluid. You're going to use lighter fluid and it'll do the same thing. But if you're ever going to use naphtha, invest in one of these. You've got to have one of these. You know, they've got the filters on the side. Now, I only use this for my naphtha, this mask, and it prevents you from breathing the shit in. And believe me, it throws off it. And the bitch of it is, for a long time, I never used to use the mask. And then what started happening was, the more I used this stuff, I walked around constantly smelling gasoline. No matter what time, all I could smell was gasoline. And it was affecting my sense of smell big time. And I was like, holy shit, man, I gotta stop. I gotta get a gas mask. I had to get a mask, vapor mask, and that's what I used. But I keep my naphtha locked in a jar, nice and tight. I've got the sponges inside the jar. I put my mask on, and I have my fan right behind right behind this. I have a fan blowing across me, and it blows out the door. I have a door right over here. I have a door straight out here that I have the fan going across here, blowing all the fumes out the door when I'm working with it. Look up natural dried corn husk. All right, that's easier to remember. It's in season right now, so now the straw comes apart. It can't have. The other thing I'm going to do is, this eyebrow's a little too thick. I'm going to lower this eyebrow a little bit more like the other one. The other eyebrow's nice and flush to the face almost, but it has the definition. There's these little things that are bothering me. The eyebrow's too thick on that side. This is going to be very accurate. The sculpture, by the way, guys. This is going to be a very, very accurate. The other thing too, when you're using naphtha, you need chemical gloves. You want to get these gloves. Now, I go to Harbor Freight. I don't know if you guys know where Harbor Freight is, but you get these gloves, and never let that naphtha touch your skin. Yeah, it can cause cancer. It's severe. It's no joke. Shit's tough, man. Stuff's brutal. But yeah, I wanted to come on live and show you guys what I've done and how this thing's really coming along. Let me see something here. Where's my shit. I'm looking at the nostril flare out back and forth. Dead on, this looks perfect. Yeah, if you're going to use naphtha, and I would recommend using naphtha, I really do, but you just got to play it safe. Get a gas, you can go to MAB. That's where I actually picked up that mask. You just go to MAB. I think even Walmart will carry something like that. A painter's you need a vapor mask though. It's for vapors. It'll get rid of any kind of. I think this is 3M. Yeah, 3M makes this. And it's I got the M7502. The M7502 is the one I got. And it's got 3M601. I don't know what all that means, but this is good for chemicals and, paint vapors and any kind of vapors. You definitely need that for protection. Yep, rubber masks, or rubber gloves, masks. You don't want the naphtha touching you. And the way I usually do it is I sponge it on and I just rub it, because it softens the very outer edge of the clay and really smooths it down nice. And I made these little square sponges, and I leave them right in the naphtha, right in the jar. Oh yeah, baby. I think we have ourselves a really, really nice sculpture here. What do you guys think? Before I close out and say goodnight. What do you think? See, right now, this thing is so close to finished that there's just not a lot to see. Thanks, Erie. It's just not a lot to see. When I'm sculpting now, I'm moving literally little tiny crumbs of clay. Yeah, DP. I mean, it's been a while since and now I'm really getting into this. I've got it really, really close to the screen used mask. And this one here even has the little tiny dimple that's in the screen used mask. You see that dimple right there? Let me get it in the light so you can see it. You see that? Now let me show you. It's truly there on the mask. A lot of people miss that, and they don't put it in there, and it's there. See that dimple right there? A little tiny dimple right dead center, right underneath that lower lip. I've got it. I mean, I'm putting every little tiny detail into this sculpture. I want it to be exact, as close as I can anyway, as close as possible. See, when we're looking at these pictures, we don't have this mask in front of us to replicate from every angle. If I could do that, then I could get this so much more closer. Yeah, the bubble on the lips there. My bubble's there, right there. Same spot. Dimple too, yeah. There's a little dent, it's like this little dimple that sticks out right in the center. And you can see it on mine. See it? Yeah, you called it the herpy. That's funny. Leave it to Shatner. Leave it to Shatner. Yeah, I got a herpy in the corner of my mouth. That's funny. I would have loved to hear him say that. Shatner and his herpes. Yeah, there's a little dimple there. It's just this little thing that he did. Maybe he didn't even do it on purpose. I don't know. Well, this, all right. You see this still shot? You see all, now I got different color paper. You see these still shots? Well, not that one. Not that one. That's actually Sean Clark wearing his mask that he got from Christopher Nelson. And this is Christopher Nelson signing this mask that was actually came from the screen used mold. This picture. But these shots here are actually from the extras in, I think, was it Halloween Kills? Yeah, it was Halloween Kills. If you got the really, I got the real expensive DVD set of Halloween Kills, and it was like the 4K master blah 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 collection and collector's piece, and they did this whole thing about this mask, a video, and what they did was they did this. They took the light. They had the mask sitting here just like this, and they had this light that went completely around it. And I took a bunch of still shots. I just went click, 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 as this light went around this mask when they were showing it. And it gave me all the, like if you see the different pictures, you see how the light's different on each one of those shots? See how the different shadows are revealing different secrets? And that's the secret. You know, I think that this is more revealing than all the pictures out on the website. Anything that you can find on the internet. This shows you the true details only as a straight on shot, but it shows you the little bumps, the little ridges, all the little tiny little imperfections that are in the sculpture. I can see that in the sculpture. I can see how the end of these bumps are shaped that go into the face. I can see the shadowing. You know, there's just so many things that you can really, you know, nail. And I still have to do that. I still have to bring in some more of the shadowing right in here. It's got to be rounded just like that. Same with this side. A little bit more on that side, just a little bit more. Yep, I've got the photos to prove what I'm doing is very accurate. I definitely am trying to. I don't even think NAG picked up on that. Tell you the truth, that little dimple in under here. I don't think NAG even nailed that. I don't think they put that on there. I might be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I haven't really looked at the newest NAG, but I don't even think he picked up on it. And it all depends on the photos that you're using of the screen used. But that's actually from the screen used mask there. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing here over on this side. I got my Ultra is on my mannequin over here of Michael. I couldn't get a flesh tone mannequin. I only found a black one. But that's my Ultra FB78 there on a life-size mannequin. That mannequin's huge, man. That thing's like 6'5", 6'6". I'm gonna put a follow cool thing I'm putting on there. Really cool. Well, I made the coveralls. I actually did all the weathering for them, and I did all the. I forget where I bought the coveralls. I got them somewhere. How did I get them? Um, oh, there was a what the hell was that called? It's no longer there. They went out of business a couple years ago. They were a couple miles away from me. What the hell was that called? But anyway, it was a little store, and they did a lot of army stuff, and they had knives and all kinds of stuff in there. It wasn't a sporting goods shop. Damn it. But they carried a lot of coveralls like that. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if they're red cap or not. I have to look at the back of the tag. I don't want to look at it right now. I'm too tired to be struggling with that. I got all kinds of stones in front of that thing. So, but it's like a grayish blue. See, I painted it. I also painted this thing. I gave it a grayish bluish look to it. I used a lot of paint, a lot of ink. I'm sorry, not paint, ink. I used ink on the fabric, and it was a spray ink. I put it in. I got this ink that I put in my airbrush, and I sprayed it all the different, the reds and the rust and the browns. It looks like dried blood. Yeah, that's what I did to him. Let me back up so you can see more of him. There you go. I need to move the overhead light literally right on top of him somehow. Cast better shadow. Got the bullet holes in them. A little bit of guts coming out of his bullet holes. I gored them up a little bit. Yeah, I did. And even on these coveralls, like I did the darkening, I put the black on the knees, like, scuffed up pretty good. It's a hunter's moon. Yeah, I had my mummy back there. If you guys remember, I had a mummy in that corner. I'm putting him upstairs in the attic. He still works, and he's a collector's piece, believe it or not. I bought that at Home Depot probably 15, 20, no, it was longer than that. The kids were young, so that was at least 20 years ago, that mummy. And I want to fix it because the eyes move and they light up. Man, it's creepy. And it makes this scary ass sound. Scared the crap out of my kids. When they were younger, boy, that scared them. I pulled a prank on those kids. My niece was terrified of every little thing, man. She was afraid of bugs crawling across the floor. So, what did you write there? All right, so based off the credits of the Halloween, okay. Okay, so my niece, we have a little bedroom up there. It's like a 9 by 10 bedroom with a closet upstairs. And I got them playing this hot and cold game, and they were like probably 12 years old, 13 years old, the girls. And I had them playing they're 30 years old now, so we're talking a long time ago. 20 years at least. So they were 12, 13 years old. And I had them playing this hot and cold game. Well, this thing was motion activated. All right. And I put it inside the closet upstairs in that little room. And got them playing hot and cold, and they're yelling out, and yeah, you're getting warmer. They go up the steps. Yeah, you're getting real warm. Get real warm. They go into the room. Yeah, you're getting real, real, real warm. They get over to the closet. They open up the closet door. Oh my God. The thing that makes it starts squealing. I can hear the thing squealing. I hear Krista scream. That was my niece. Scream bloody murder, man. Butt slid clear across the floor. I heard her whack into the back of the wall. I thought, holy shit, that is a star. I couldn't breathe for like an hour. I was laughing so hard. But scared the crap out of her, man. She seen that thing lean in. She opened that door, and they were on their hands and knees when they opened the door. That's what they told me anyway, because I wasn't upstairs. I didn't see. I wish I would have loved to film that. That would have been so cool. Put a hidden camera in there, but we didn't have the technology like we do now. So, yeah, we were still doing with flip top phones. So, can you imagine having the camera in there looking at that door, and then her opening, or better yet, a camera inside? You know, seeing her face as she sees that thing, you know, eyes light up and it starts, oh my God. I can imagine, man. She screamed bloody murder and slid across the floor, and I heard her back hit the wall. I'm in the dining room and the wall's like literally. I thought, holy shit, I hope she's okay. But even though it scared the hell out of them, it's a memory that they'll never forget, and they'll always talk about it their whole lives. The time Uncle Johnny scared the living shit out of Krista and Angela. And boy, did it scare them. I was really good at pranking. I was so good at doing stuff like that. I had so many pranks that I used to do. Today, you got to be careful, man. You get shot today if you do anything like that. But anyway, the pranks we pulled back then, you could get killed today. But anyway, man, oh man. Yeah, I was the king of pranks. I was pranking before pranking was popular, back in the 70s and 80s. Yep. But boy, I scared the living shit out of them two girls that night. Bet you if it is, we were supposed to watch scary movies, and they wouldn't watch them now. After that, they were done. They were done. I'm not watching anything scary. Nope, especially with anything with a mummy in it. Nope, nope, nope. It was funny. Anyway, guys. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with my kids. I really did. I enjoyed them. They were so awesome, my kids. Growing up, I mean, we used to do the Michael Myers thing and scared them. I'll never forget. Here's a scenario. It was so funny. So it was summertime, and it was late summer. It was August, and our pool was right out back. You know, it's right off the house, and it was on part of the deck. Well, the girls and stuff, they were swimming, and I got dressed up as Michael Myers. And at the time, I was real thin. I was still a lot thinner. I got dressed up as Michael Myers, and I started chasing him through the yard. Well, the one girl was cocky. She thought she was, you know, all that in a bag of beans. So she decides she's just going to jump in the pool. Michael can't get me in here. What did I do? Full costume, man. I just walked right into the water. I went down the steps and then into the pool, into the water, and I started walking right to her. Now, it was only a 4-foot deep pool, so I wasn't have to worry about an 8-foot deep end, full mast, the whole 9 yards, walking right at her. And she was like, oh my God, he must be the real thing. She jumped out. She jumped over the wall and started screaming and running clear across the yard. It scared the shit out of her because I just didn't. I came at her like no hesitation, just right at her. You know, that was so funny. Oh, it was good. Good days, man. Good old days. Used to do a lot of pranking, man. I used to have I had a lot of fun with that. But man, I got to get something to eat, man. I'm starving. guys. You guys have a good night. And what I wish Trick or Treat Studios H40 was larger size mask. Yeah, well, that's what I'm. This is all right. This is what I'm turning that into, guys. I'm going to make that into an H40. This is going to be an H40. I'm going to age it into an H40. I'll make the eye slants a little bit slanted downwards a little more so they're more accurate. But I'm going to use this as the base for an H40. So what do you think of that idea? We're also going to turn it into a Kills and an ends mask. So you'll have a large mask. You'll be able to have a large mask or a 24.5. This is going to be a 26 and a 24.5 available. Yeah, I'm going to age this. Once I silicone this, I'll be able to make multiple clay pools and do all kinds of versions to this mask. But getting this perfect was the key. I had to get this mask perfect. You know, once I get this once I get this one-to-one, one-for-one FB78 perfected, the plan is to age it into the 2018 over this winter, and the Kills, depending, because I can do two sculptures at once. I can make two of them, two heads, and work on them separately or at the same time. I can work on them together. One will be the Kills and one will be the ends mask. Doesn't need to be any. The ends mask is basically the same mask. It just has, it's the same as Kills mask. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here, guys. That's the plan going forward, though. Knowing that I'm gonna make the. Oh man, that doesn't want to come off, does it? There we go. Man, it just grabs a hold of my. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Oh yeah. Peace, everybody. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and don't work too hard during the week.